and Jeff, and we run Adapt, Stretch, and Bodywork.
Yeah, I'm Jeff. We make people taller. We keep people in motion. People stay in motion.
Okay, awesome.
All sorts of people, really. I've had as young as 8 and as old as 83.
Okay.
So it runs the gamut. I'd say most of our clients are probably the middle-age group, I guess.
Yes.
People our age probably who literally, like Jeff said, and that's our thing for our business is to help people stay in motion. And you get to be our age and you need some help staying in motion. That's what we do.
Sure. We all need some help sometimes.
Yes.
At all different ages.
Yeah.
And for Rob, for listeners learning about Adapt, Stretch, and Bodywork for the first time, can you share how the business began and what led you into this field after such an extensive career in service and management?
Yeah, so I had 25 years in the service industry, in management, in the retail world, just being of service to people. It's always what I wanted to do, and that's what I've done my entire career. It got to the point, though, where I was burned out. I was managing 200 people in 20 locations and definitely needed a change. My wife gifted me with some time to figure that out, thanks to her. So I took some time, and I had gone through a health change where I'd lost a lot of weight, got healthy and fit at 40-some years old, and thought my change was going to take me in the personal training direction. And as I started looking into the industry, it just became clear that you really had to be there morning, noon, and night to make any money doing that. And I was already working a ton, didn't want to do that. And while I always enjoyed seeing my trainer, I realized that not everybody likes to see their trainer coming down the hall. As I was learning about the personal training industry, though, there were a lot of similarities to the massage industry, which I wasn't prepared for. I'd never even had a massage before. And started looking into that, and I remember thinking very clearly, while not everybody may like to see their trainer coming, I bet everybody loves to see their massage therapist coming. And I was like, okay, let me look into that industry some, and I started doing my research, and I was like, this is interesting. It checked my boxes. I wanted to get back to being of service to people, but I wanted to do it more one-on-one. And I wanted to feel like I was making a difference. And as I looked into massage, I thought, that's really instant gratification. It doesn't get more instant than that. Somebody comes in and they're wore out from a long day, they're hurting, they just sat in traffic, and they come in and they get worked on and they leave smiling. And that was a great thing. So went to massage school and got through that, worked in a couple of other environments for other people. But it was always going to be me. I wanted it to be my business. And just over time, I started shifting away from working with others and working more for myself. And then just opened my own thing, ran for a while, and then started looking for help because I was really busy, and brought Jeff in 2022. And that brought us together and got us to where we are.
Wow, what a journey. And the rest was history, right?
It was a good journey. And there are times where it's a lot of work and it's exhausting physically. It is exhausting. I remember reading that in both of the books that I read about the massage industry. It was first couple of chapters of both books was all the bad stuff. When they want to make sure that you're prepared for the bad stuff. And yeah, it was a very physical thing that they made you aware of, and it has been, but it's still extremely gratifying. I'm glad I did it.
Absolutely.
Ecstatic that I did it.
That's wonderful. And Jeff, your path into this work came through fitness, personal training, massage therapy, and performance-based body work. Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey and what drew you to this profession?
It's a continuum because it's like the manual sciences, if you will. You become a trainer. It's funny because when I was 9, I was like, I want to be a fitness instructor, but I don't know how the leg warmer thing is going to work. But anyway,
When
so
you were 9?
when I was 9, I thought I don't want to be a trainer.
I didn't know that.
I had a interesting experience with the Marines, went to boot camp, went to war, whatever. Eventually went to college and kept that Marine Corps persona, and everybody wanted me to train them. So I was like, maybe I could be it guided my studies in college and put me in the fitness field and training or what have you. The more you're in the field, in the industry, the more you develop and grow, and then you're working with your clientele and you're stretching them and trying to make their lives better, more effective. And I've always wanted to be a massage therapist as well. Like maybe I thought of the idea, and then maybe 9 years later, I finally found my chance to go to massage school because it was like everybody needs more tools in their toolbox when you're trying to help people. You're trying to help people reach their goals, but you're limited as a trainer in what you can do, and it opens up new doors when you're able to do manual therapy and have better understanding to helping the people that you're serving.
Yeah.
So,
That's really cool. I love how you got into that. It's funny all the different things we do in our life, and it leads us to where we are now, and we wouldn't change it for a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Rob, you shared that discovering fascial stretch therapy was a turning point for you, both personally and professionally. What was it about that experience that made you realize this was the direction you wanted to build your business around?
It was the results, really. I had been a massage therapist for 3 years at that point and went through what I think a lot of massage therapists go through. You're working on clients and you send them away and they drift back in 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever, and they're having some of the same problems. And while I understand now there are lots of reasons for that, I felt like I wasn't impacting the body as completely as I should be. And I went and had a continuing ed course and met a woman there who was doing fascial stretch therapy. So she introduced it to me, and I asked her, she was wearing a shirt, it was DMV Stretch, and I was like, what's that all about? And she said, that's my business. And I was like, oh, it's like stretching. And thinking to myself, I'm extremely inflexible, knew that stretching was something I could use. And I was like, can you tell me about it? And she said, yeah, it's really just so much easier if I show you. And so we skipped lunch, and she gave me a lower body session. And it was still to this day the most impactful session I've ever had. I remember sitting on the table afterwards waiting for class to come back, and I have a tendency to swing my leg, just nervous energy, and I just realized my leg was just whipping like crazy. And I was like, where'd all this feeling come from? And I was loosened up, I was energized, and it was just really relieving. And so we got to talking, and I was like, I gotta come see you every week. Turned out she lived way over in Maryland, and I was never going to go out that far. And so I started looking into it, and there was nobody here that did it. In Loudoun County, there were very few. In Virginia, that did it at all, still very few. So I looked into it a little bit more. I started poking around. Is it just a random thing? And I found that there were research studies behind it. It's okay. So there's science behind this. This isn't just some random stretch modality. And then I started finding athletes and found that athletes had been doing fascial stretch therapy at that point, for probably 15 years or so, because it had been around a long time, but it was not very well known, still isn't greatly known. So I started looking at the athletes, and what I knew about athletes were that they will try anything once to get the competitive edge, but they don't keep doing things if it's not working. So it's like, okay, there's science, and they're athletes. So it's something that has some lasting power. It's a serious thing. It is as serious as it felt to me. So I started, following the path. It took me a while. I think the program is designed to be done in 3 years. I was fairly passionate about it, and so I got through it in 19 months.
Wow.
And it changed everything for me. Like you said, personally, it freed me up in a lot of ways, and I've heard these stories from clients now that I do it for them, and they share it with me, and I know that because those are my stories. That's what I felt from it as well. So now I get to bring it to other people, and I get to watch their eyes when they get off the table and what they feel coming off the table, and I can see it in their eye when they get off the table, and it's that wow experience. And since then, I've learned lots of other things, and I've mixed it all together, and it's become my own modality. what I call motion therapy. Within motion therapy are a lot of different modalities, but fascial stretch therapy is a huge piece of it. It was a big enough piece that I based my entire business around it. Adapt, stretch, and bodywork. The bodywork is the overall umbrella of all of it, but the stretch is obviously a massive part of it.
Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. Like you said, I think it's definitely a niche and it's very unique in our area. So the fact that you're able to provide that kind of relief to our community, that's amazing.
Yeah, and we have a very active community here. I remember thinking that when I started looking into it, it was as active as Loudoun County is. How is there not someone here already providing this? So it was an easy decision.
Wonderful. And one of the things that makes your practice so interesting is that you each bring different strengths and perspectives to the table. How would you describe the difference in the way each of you works with clients?
Yeah, sure. So mine is more of a athlete performance type perspective. My little niche in the umbrellas. One of them is called Sports Plus. It's like I balance muscles and I try to assess the situation from a movement type aspect. And then I bring on my background in as far as I'll put them on the table, I'll assess, I'll mix in fascial stretch with muscle balance, and then I'll see if I made it a change or affected a movement there. And then we'll build from there as far as, okay, it guides the objectives in the future and to see improvements and change as far as that goes.
Okay. Creating like a game plan, meeting them where they're at, assessing it, and making a pathway to find.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. And Jeff brings a strong performance and corrective exercise lens to the work. What are some of the ways that perspective benefits clients and expands what Adapt, Stretch, and Bodywork is able to offer?
It's complementary, I think, to what Rob brings. Rob definitely brings a mastery level of fascial stretch and assessments. I'm like his second pair of eyes, or if he needs some extra follow through, if you will, to a client, maybe some extra feedback if he needs it. And beyond that, for example, we have a lot of alliances of referrals from some healthcare practitioners, chiropractors, physical therapists, what have you. So we'll have some people with some issues that they've been dealing with for a while. And because we're well known, the referrals definitely come in, and it's a continuum from where they are, if they've been in therapy and they have graduated from therapy, and then they come to us and they get even more improvements, then eventually they're going to need to be empowered to go from the rehab setting to the strength setting. And so it's a launching pad to, okay, where you're really solidifying your improvements. So now let's take you to the next step and give you a little bit more freedom from there. And then you're off to the races. So that's definitely an extension to the brand and to the mission of the company in general.
Okay.
Even expanding on that, there are clients that I've been working with for years that will get a session with Jeff, and he finds things that I haven't found because he looks at the body differently than I do. He's a personal trainer. He's looking for things that I'm just not trained to look for. When I got my first session with him on the table, what's he doing? He's pull here, pull there, and I do a lot of push-pull as well with the clients. He was specifically testing every muscle to get an idea of, okay, when the client fires this muscle, they should feel it here. But okay, I fired that muscle and I felt it over here. Okay, what's going on with that? But that gave him a roadmap to be able to say, okay, so that's firing instead of this. You're feeling it over there, then you're hung up in this spot. This is the muscle I need to relieve. Because he can look at the body in a different way, he finds things that I didn't find in long periods of time. So now when we have a new client come in, I like to try to split them between us. Maybe it's one session with me, 3 with him, 2 and 2, because I know that I'm going to find things and he's going to find things. And once we're done with those first 4 sessions that we like to have with a client, we have a full picture of what's going on. It's not just, hey, I hurt here, or my physical therapist says I have this problem. We can both get our hands in there and learn and understand what's going on in their body as a whole, not just in pieces.
Definitely. You really get just a full perspective from all areas with you guys. It's like the best of both worlds, getting that just full assessment.
Yeah, definitely.
And you were both drawn away from more traditional spa style massage work and towards something more results driven. What made you want to focus on helping clients with deeper, longer term issues rather than more occasional relaxation based sessions?
I think I can speak for us both on this. Feel free to add at the end if you'd like. I think we're both driven to work with a different population of people. They say in massage school that what you start massage school wanting to do is different than what you finish with in massage school. And then you spend your first 3 to 5 years figuring out what you don't want to do. And then maybe another couple of years to figure out what you do want to do. I think both Jeff and I understood that the clientele we want to work with, and this is what we specialize in, are people who have significant problems. Not that there's anything wrong with a relaxation massage. There are lots of people, lots of great people in Loudoun County that offer relaxation massage. And while that is a service that we offer, our goal is to really work with people who have significant problems. You have a big issue, come in, let us work on it. And we get people decades with a problem. Come in, let us work on it. Those are the clients that we work best with. And then working in other environments, we didn't want the folks that come in once or twice a year and they have a problem they've had for, in some cases, decades, and they get a session or 2 a year and expect you to undo all of that stuff in one session, in a 60-minute session, very often at that. Or they come into a couples massage and expect there to be some big therapeutic release of something that has caused problems for them a long period of time. And I think that may have been the first thing we bonded over, was the idea that this is not what we want to do. Let's get together and do what we do want to do. That's the beauty of massage, is that you can carve out whatever it is you want to do.
Absolutely. And to add on to that, you both place a strong emphasis on realistic expectations and consistency. Why is it so important for clients to understand that one session is often just the beginning rather than the full solution?
I think because people don't understand. That's why it's important for them to get it, and not everybody tells them that. Yeah, very often I won't even put clients on a schedule. If they're looking for one session, that's just not what we do. It's not realistic. You've got a problem that's bothered you for a year or 2 or 5. And the fact that one session is just not gonna help them. So we like to tell them that right up front. Commitment is important. And in my opinion, for most of us, maybe there's a significant injury, but for most of us, the things that cause you your day-to-day pain and discomfort, it comes from the things that you're doing day to day. So getting people to understand that and commit to that is really our first win, is when someone understands that and it's okay. Now let us work on you. Now give us that few sessions. Let us start to get ahead of your problems rather than constantly chasing them. You've been getting monthly massage and it hasn't really gotten you very far. Let's pick up the sessions. Let's get them closer together. Let us get ahead of your problems so we're not constantly chasing them.
Of course. As well as just giving them the tools and the advice of what to do at home as well.
Yeah.
After they leave the office with you guys, and how they can help themselves at home in conjunction with your work.
Yeah, we were discussing this earlier. I'll let you.
It takes, if you spent 10 years, 8 hours a day, 45 to 60 hours a week in this position, and you expect a miracle worker to resolve your issues in 60 minutes, This is not an episode of House or a dramatic episode. It's going to really take a team effort and an understanding to, or a combination of what we do on the table and what the client does, supplementing that with homework and understanding that it's going to take a team effort to put you in a better position, pain-free, able to move freer without discomfort. Just understanding that, just educating them and making the light bulb go off in their head. Oh, okay. It's my habits and my posture and my situations that's put me in this situation. And I need to be diligent with my work at home to help the process to improvement along. Definitely, it's not a one session situation when you're actively going against it if you're still doing your daily things that are counterproductive to the success of the session of the therapy.
Yeah, for most of us, while those things that we're doing every day contribute to our aches and pains, most of us aren't going to change what we're doing. We're not going to change our careers. We're not going to change the sitting there working at the computer being slumped over. We're not going to change the commutes in Northern Virginia. Okay, if we're not going to change those things, then you probably need some help and some ongoing help to keep you as functional as you can be.
Just got to stay consistent with it.
Yeah. As with anything.
Yeah.
You know? Do we brush our teeth just once? Do we take a shower just once?
Absolutely.
Those are silly concepts for us to think of, but yet we apply those concepts to other things like our health. And it's backwards. I'm not sure how we learned these things, but yeah, it's fairly backwards.
Yeah, you got to do the homework and you got to maintain yourself.
Yeah.
And Rob, one area that seems especially important to your approach is the connection between what you do and physical therapy. Can you talk a little bit about how manual therapy and physical therapy can work together to create better outcomes for clients?
Yeah, absolutely. To me, it's fairly obvious. I think most people go into physical therapy with the idea that, okay, I have this problem. And their favorite part of physical therapy is when the physical therapist put their hands in and they do some manual therapy. But they also know that, okay, that's only going to happen for 5 or 10 minutes. And then the physical therapist is going to give me exercises and stretches. And they're going to stand there and watch me do my stuff to make sure I'm doing them right. But their favorite part is the manual therapy that they don't get enough of. So why would you not seek out someone who specializes in that? I was at physical therapy this morning. I seem to be in physical therapy a lot. And talking to the physical therapist, whether it's one place or half a dozen places, they all say the same thing. It's a matter of having the time that they need to work with a patient. In their case, they don't have time to spend 60 minutes or 90 minutes working on patients in their case. But that's what we do. That's all we do. That's everything we do. I was at a continuing ed thing this weekend, and we, manual therapists, spend more time than pretty much any other healthcare professional with a client. How many health professionals spend 60 minutes, 75 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours with their patients or clients? But that's what we do. To get the manual therapy while you're doing physical therapy, that's going to help the physical therapist. That's only going to put your body in a better position to receive the work that you're getting from the physical therapist. So they go hand in hand to me. It makes perfect common sense. Again, we've not been trained to think that way, but yeah, it makes perfect sense to me.
Absolutely. Your patients are definitely in great care, I can tell.
We like to think so.
And you've both had the opportunity to work with many different people over the years. What is one client response or breakthrough that has stayed with you and reminded you why this work matters so much?
I'll take that. You got something in mind?
Start first.
So many. I think one of my first and most gratifying, I worked on an 8-year-old. I mentioned the 8-year-old earlier. He was 8. He was autistic. I was a relatively new therapist at the time and had been asked to work with him because I communicate really well. I had a career, so I learned communication skills. And this poor kid, he's autistic. He's not used to being touched. So that in itself was a challenge. I did some research. I looked at what research studies had been done working with manual therapy with autistic folks. And I think our first session, if I got him to sit still for 5 minutes, that was a lot. And by the time we were done several months later, I got 45 minutes out of him. And he was very low functioning. He didn't talk very much, but the one word he knew was tickle. He wanted to be tickled. He loved being tickled. So somehow I managed to communicate enough to him for him to understand that if he laid there for 45 minutes, as still as he could be, that I would spend the last 5 minutes tickling him. And it was a really sweet thing. And while I never met the parents, I met the caretaker. And the caretaker during the last session brought a letter from the parents. And the parents just said in the letter, 6 months ago, we couldn't hug our son. And 6 months later, after working with you, we can now hug him. And I'm not a parent, but I have nieces. I get it a little bit. I had 3 younger sisters. The idea that you can't hug your child is, number one, as a parent, I don't know how you handle that, but as a child, to not feel that, to have that special need of, I don't want to be touched. I don't like being touched. So to be able to give that to both of them, that was incredibly gratifying. Lots of other stories. I could go on forever, but that one was probably my first.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is truly amazing to be able to give that kind of impact and change on someone's life. There is no better compliment than that.
Yeah, it was huge. And it was early on in my career, so it was very easy for me to say, I'm in the right spot.
Yeah.
I found the right thing to do.
It makes it, all that hard work, it makes it worth it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's such a full circle moment to see things like that of how far they have come.
Yeah.
And Robbie, you've built a business with an incredibly high rebooking rate and strong word of mouth reputation. What do you believe has allowed Adapt, Stretch, and Bodywork to build that kind of trust and client loyalty?
I think we're different. Our intention, I think, makes us different. The nuts and bolts of what we offer certainly makes us different than other practitioners, but the intention of what we bring, number one, that we have intention in everything that we do, and it goes beyond just trying to relax the client. So for them to experience that, they feel it. And I can sit here and say that I've never advertised a day in my life, and we have survived 6-7 years at this point without having advertised all of it coming word of mouth. And the clients get off the table, they feel the impact, they learn to be empowered and educated, both in what's affecting them on our table, but also with other healthcare professionals. They come in, our first job is to listen to them, and often they say, I have no idea what's going on in my body. I saw this doctor who said this, and this one said this, but neither one of them really said it very well. I don't really understand what's going on. And for me to be able to spend some time, because that's what we do, we spend time with them, listen to them, try and educate them and empower them as to what's going on so that they walk out the door knowing more than when they came in, that contributes highly. Yeah, so in an industry where 20% is accepted, the industry's okay with only 20% of their clients coming back, and we book 90%.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very, knock on wood, very grateful for it, but it's also not by accident.
Yeah.
Our intention is to reach the clients and give them a level of care that they don't get in other places.
And the quality of work you guys do definitely reflects, just based on those word of mouth referrals. Everybody wants their family, their friends to get that relief too.
Yeah.
And for both of you guys, looking ahead, what are your goals for Adapt, Stretch, and Bodywork? And how do you see the business evolving, whether it means growing the team, expanding services, or just helping more people in the community?
Definitely there's room for growth from my aspect of it as far as the corrective solutions part of, like I said, the launching pad from I'm hurt to I'm recovering, I'm getting stronger. Now I'm now I'm going to add to that level and be stronger and be free with my lifestyle because I have come full circle from being injured, whatever my situation was, to rehabbing, and now I'm active and doing things I love. And just being a part of that is really gratifying. I see myself continuing to do that, maybe impacting specific populations, athletes, whether they're in grade school up to college, maybe some more pro athletes, to the regular middle-aged person that's a weekend warrior playing sports, think that they're 20 again, and they maybe get a little dinged up, get hurt here and there, have to go to some physical therapy, maybe even educating them into how to adjust to the person that's in the mirror now and how they can protect themselves and still enjoy their lifestyle with some wisdom and a little bit of guidance. So there's a lot of room for me to continue to develop and be a part of that puzzle in all the demographics I've mentioned's lives. So I'm pretty excited and enthusiastic about my role in it.
Yeah, I
Just
think all manual therapists are constantly growing. If you're not, you're probably not in the best place. Burnout is high amongst manual therapists, and I think a lot of that comes from not growing, not pursuing new things, not continuing to feed the sponge that is the brain. Like I mentioned, I was at Continuing Ed this weekend, and as big of a thing as FST was, and that journey to get through that, and that was a long few years to get through that, I've been pursuing Eric Dalton's myoskeletal alignment technique, which is a 210-hour course, and so it's a lot. It's very involved. It took me from thinking, okay, there's the pain and then there's the problem that causes the pain. They're never in the same place. Now I'm thinking, okay, there's the pain, there's the problem, but then there's a dysfunction that causes the problem, that then causes the pain. So the more you learn, whether it's myoskeletal alignment technique or anything else, you think bigger. You look at the body bigger. Chasing pain is a hole that a lot of manual therapists fall into. A lot of clients think that way. Hey, I have pain, so I need to get someone to resolve the pain. But thinking about then the problem and the dysfunction, that is a big thing, and we're constantly chasing better ways to be able to do that. So personally, I'm expanding there, doing some holistic coaching as well, because honestly, it's not just what goes on in your body that causes things. What's happening at home? Are you sleeping enough? Do you have a good schedule for habits? Are you stretching on a regular basis? Are you laying out your day to prioritize health? Those are things that when I say to a client, 3 sessions in a row, okay, what do you want to do today to help you continue to feel this good? And they set their own goals, and then they come back 3 sessions in a row and they didn't accomplish those goals. Okay, maybe you need some help. Maybe you need something a little bit more, and I can help you beyond just what's on the table. I can help you with some coaching and creating those habits. And so that's something I'm getting into as well. And then there is the potential of bringing on another practitioner. There aren't many people who do what we do, so finding that practitioner is difficult, but maybe bringing in somebody else to let us grow that way as well.
Definitely. I know you guys will find the perfect person to add to your team.
It'll work out either way.
Of course. And for listeners who may be experiencing pain, limitations, or chronic tension and are curious about working with your team, where can they learn more about Adapt, Stretch, and Bodywork and how to book the right services for their needs?
Yeah, so the website is stayinmotion.biz, B-I-Z. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram as well. So there's some content out there. Being a small business, I can't say I keep that up tremendously, but there's some content there. But beyond that, pick up the phone, call us, text us, 703-662-5606. And one of us will get back to you and we can talk about what's going on. I do that very often. Somebody will send a text. I've had 3 this week of, hey, I'd like to get in, or I'd like to talk about what's going on, and it's okay, let me make a phone call, let's find out what your needs are. Usually they end up getting booked. In some cases, yeah, maybe you need to get some images, or have you seen a medical professional for this? What's your doctor say about this? And so we want to get them into the right place. Very often we are the right place, but sometimes not. Sometimes we're the right place second or third step, and they need to see somebody else before they get to us. So yeah, you want to know more, feel free to drop us a line. We'll get you hooked up.
Perfect said. And as we wrap up, is there anything either of you would like to add that I haven't touched on today?
Not that I can think of.
She's pretty thorough.
She was very thorough.
Thank you, guys. And I want to thank you so much, Rob and Jeff, for joining me on the podcast today and sharing your knowledge and passion and stories with us. I wish you both continued growth, success, and all the best in the very future.
Thanks for having us. We're happy to be here.